welcome to another episode. What are we cooking today? Well, let's check on Twitter and see who's written in. First things first though, I'm going to make myself a cup of green tea. Green tea is really good for your digestion, and I always find before I start cooking, it gives me all the energy and strength I require. Okay, now to check on Twitter. Okay, Aisha's written in saying, please guide me as how to make Vietnamese starters, those finger food types. Thanks and love the show. Well, Aisha, thank you so much for your Twitter message, and I love cooking for you, and I'm really glad you wrote in. Now let me tell you a little bit about Vietnamese cooking. Vietnamese cuisine is a myriad of different flavors. That means the influences from all over the Southeast Asian region which are dominant in its cuisine. Vietnamese cuisine is all about the aromatic herbs and spices that bring out the flavor in food. And another thing, Vietnamese cooking is very fast food orientated. That means it's quick and it's easy and it's sort of pret a eat, ready to eat, walk away as you eat, and that is synonymous with its stalls of food. But that's enough of me going on about Vietnamese cuisine. Now I'm just going to finish off my tea, go off, pick up some herbs and spices, and make you some phenomenal aromatic chicken skewers and barbecued wings. Okay, now I'm here to pick up the papaya for my papaya relish. The first things that I must tell you is that how to choose the right papaya. This is completely green and very hard to touch, and therefore it is not the optimum papaya. Whilst this, which is more or less yellow, and the base is going slightly orange, and when you touch the skin, it's firm, but there's a slight softness to it. This is a perfectly ripe papaya and will go very well in our relish. But now I've got to pick up the aromatics, which will go into my aromatic skewers, and the base aromatics for my barbecued wings. Okay, now the first herb that goes into our aromatic spice mix is cilantro, but that's a herb that we don't usually get here. But the good thing is that it's part of the coriander family, and coriander is something that is vastly and widely abundant and a great alternative to cilantro. So I'm going to pick up a lovely bunch of fresh coriander, and of course, you can already tell that this will bring that lovely mix of spice to our mix. The next herb we're using is parsley, and although flat leaf parsley would be preferable, this sprig parsley will do just fine. Next, mint. It's fresh, it's light, it brings out all the flavors in the chili, the sweet, the sour, and it creates the balance. Now the fourth herb is basil, which is very essential. Now in Southeast Asian cuisine, you have so many varieties of basil. Over here we get this fantastic sweet basil, which can also be used in Italian cuisine. So that's it. I've got all my herbs, my aromatics. Now I'm going to go pick up the chicken, get back to the kitchen, and get cooking. Now to get started, first I'm going to pick up a packet of K&N's chicken wings. Now, isn't that just amazing? I don't have to wait a week and a half for my grandmother to, collect wings of all the different chickens cooked in the house. Instead, I just walk into K&N's and pick up a packet of wings ready to cook right out of the bag. That's the beauty of K&N's. They do everything from A to Z, from the process to delivery. It's clean, it's safe and healthy, it's packaged well, and the minute you defrost it, it's ready to cook. Next thing that I'm picking up is the chicken breast fillet, which I'm going to use in my skewers. Again, it's supremely easy. I don't have to debone the chicken. I don't have to take the breast fillet off the whole chicken. I don't have to wait to collect many of them. I can just walk into K&N's, pick up a 0.5 kg package with about 6 breast fillets in there, and make an entire platter of skewers. Another thing about K&N's is that they follow a very strict standardization, the HACCP code, and therefore their chicken is completely trustworthy. Well, that's it. I've got my breast fillet and my chicken wings. Now it's back to the kitchen to get cooking. Alright, now to get started, I'm going to make the mix for my barbecued wings first. I'm going to make a little paste out of the lovely little garlic that I picked up. I'm not going to chop it, I'm not going to crush it, I'm just going to use it in my pestle and mortar and mash it up a little bit. Now you keep doing this till the garlic breaks down completely and starts releasing its water. Then, once it's broken down, add a little sesame oil. Just about 1 tablespoon. Now just smush it. Once the garlic's done, just put it to the side because you have to get the chicken out now. And now for that, of course, I have this fantastic packet of K&N's chicken wings. Again, I thought it was really easy, simple, just to go in there, pick up that packet and walk out. Just take the top off like so. There we go. And empty it straight into your bowl. And look at them, they're all a perfect size. Each one of them the same. What a lovely, fun thing to have. Next, I'm going to bring in the triumvirate of different sauces, or the barbecue sauces, or the sauces that I'm going to create that barbecue flavor with. Now, I couldn't find hoisin sauce, as we remember, but I decided to pick up oyster as an alternative. That's just going to bring out the sweetness in the chicken. The soya, the salt, that's number 2. The fish sauce, the slight bitter salt, so the bitterness coming in through that. A little sugar to aid the sweetness. Some tart in the vinegar, the sour. And of course, chili. Now, very quickly, I'm going to put in about 4 tablespoons of light soya straight onto the chicken wings. I'm going to put in about 3 tablespoons of oyster sauce. Two tablespoons of fish sauce, but not too much because it's quite pungent. I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons of vinegar, and I've just got synthetic white vinegar for this. You could use jasmine, but it's okay. I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of sugar. Before we put in the garlic, I'm going to put in 2 red chilies, which I'm going to slice up very finely. And of course, this is to give, my little mix the fresh kick of chili. So there we go. In go the chilies. Handful of coriander leaves, slice them up, and they go in straight. Okay. Next, a nice large pinch of red chili flakes. Then grab a spoon. Just make sure that you get all the garlic off and go straight into your bowl of chicken. Then all you do is simply mix it up. So just, sort of turn the chicken in and out, up and down, so everything is balanced well and coated evenly. So I think that's quite well coated now. Okay, just get your oven dish ready with some foil and empty out your chicken wings straight into the dish. And just spread them out so they'll cook evenly in the oven underneath the grill. So this goes into our grill for about 15 minutes. Central Vietnamese cuisine takes a lot of influence from Chinese food. Now, Chinese 5-spice powder is basically no magical mythical powder. It's a mix of different spices. What we know is garam masala. Today, in the 5-spice powder, we have big elaichi, or large cardamom. We have star anise, which is key. We have cloves, which are key. Nutmeg. And cinnamon. Now, I ground that down, and what did I get from it? This fantastic, aromatic, insane-looking garam masala, or my version of Chinese 5-spice. I'm going to use it in the flour that I'm going to coat my chicken with. In a bowl, I'm just putting in about 4 tablespoons of maida, or flour. Next, I'm going to put in half a tablespoon of this mix into 4 tablespoons of flour, and just mix it up like so. Now, for my skewers, I was very smart, and I picked up a packet of chicken breast fillet from K&N's, again, which I think is fantastic because it's lovely, fresh meat, and it's so easily available and so easy to cook. Let me just take out 4 little fillets. And of course, these are the perfect things to make skewers with. Very simply, take your knife and make sort of 1.5-inch thick slices. Use the back of your knife and flatten it down a little bit. And then proceed to do the same with all the little slices. What we have to do now is put together another bowl of the aromatics, which is key in Vietnamese cuisine. Now, the main aromatics that we're using today are mint. Take about, I would say, half a cup of mint, go straight into your little blender bowl. Our version of cilantro, or the alternative that we're using today, coriander. So I'm just going to take some stalks, tear them, rip them up, and pop them straight in. Next, some parsley. This goes straight in with its stalks. Then finally, basil. I mean, how can Southeast Asian cuisine be complete without the use of basil? Because this is very, very aromatic. In that goes. Let's put in some whole red chilies. Then a couple of cloves of garlic for the key bit. We're pouring in about half a cup of soy sauce. About a quarter cup of fish sauce. Some white wine vinegar, about 3 teaspoons of sugar. Again, the balance. And then finally, I think we're going to pour in just less than a quarter cup of sesame oil. And now we just blend it. Right. Okay, now we're ready to finalize our dish. Right, so I'm just going to pop my pan here because I'm going to sear my skewers in there. I'm going to transfer this into my bowl. Look at that. Killer. Now for the construction. First, grab your skewer, lay it into the bowl with flour, with your 5-spice powder in it. Then dip it into your bowl with this mix. Simply grab your skewer, take it through, weaving. Stretch the chicken out and just lay it in your pan. And do all of this with all these fillets. Quickly get your pan on a high flame because these cook very, very fast and you don't really want to waste too much time. All right, so I can start, the sizzle is coming now. At this point, just take a little bit of your sauce and just mix it up and drizzle it on. Because the sauce dries up quite quickly and you don't want the flour to, make your skewer too chewy. Okay, now, this is where you have to be a little careful. And after a minute on each side, flip them over. There we go. Once you flip them over one time, add a little bit more sauce, again, to aid it on this, on the other side as well, so nothing becomes too dry. And that's it. Your skewers are done. Just take them off the heat and let them cool down right next to you. The final thing that you need to put in, squeeze some lemon straight into your pan. Add in a little bit more sauce to keep them moist while we wait for the wings to be done. That's it. Fantastic skewers are ready. Now, I'm quickly going to make this papaya relish. I've got some papaya that I've chopped up into quite small pieces. I am going to blend this a little bit more, so don't worry. Get an onion and halve it. Then just simply slice it up finely. And fresh red chilies are just amazing in this cuisine. You can, however, use dried, red chilies if you can't get your hands on these, but don't use our local green chilies because their flavor is completely different and you will not get that kick that you need in the Vietnamese cuisine. Okay, so one red chili there. Next, I've got some parsley. I'm just going to chop that up too. I'm keeping the stalks on because I think the flavor will be enhanced by that. A few sprigs of basil, of course, because that's key. The juice of one lemon, and then some white vinegar, and some sugar, and a little bit of fish sauce. I've got my little blender bowl here. I'm going to take half the onion first because I'm going to taste it. I don't want to overpower my little papaya relish with too much onion. All the parsley and the basil, the red chilies. Squeeze in the juice of half a lemon first. Again, you don't want to over zest it. Now, 2 teaspoons of fish sauce, 4 teaspoons of vinegar, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and about 1.5 cups of papaya, just diced up. And now we blitz this up. That's it, our papaya relish is done. Now all we have to do is wait for our barbecue wings to come out of the oven and we are ready to plate up. And the beauty about this sauce is that it stays in the fridge for a long period of time, so you can make some and keep it. Now let's get those wings out. And that's beautifully done. What a lovely glaze. It's fantastic. All the sauce is sort of milled out into the pan, and I'm actually going to put that in a separate little dish like that. My mouth is watering and I want to eat this now, but the easiest way to do that is, of course, just to treat it as finger food and pick it up and take a huge bite. Oh my God, that's supremely delicious, and it's all those flavors, perfect balance, coming through the... First of all, the meat is really tender because, again, the fillet, you don't cook it so much. You let the sort of meat, the heat permeate through, and you just sear it and leave it to cook in its juices, and that's exactly what's happened. So it's really moist from the inside. Then, what's really interesting, I thought that this sauce would have a real chili kick to it, or the aromatics would make something go imbalanced. Instead, what I'm getting is a very warm, soft, aromatic taste. And where I thought that the mint would, overcome all other flavors in there, it's actually really, really balanced. I'm going to try a little bit of this, some of this papaya dipping sauce. Let me taste the sauce on its own first. Now here's what's interesting about this sauce, that it's really fresh. It's like light almost, and cold, and it's, a lovely contrast with this chicken, for example, because you've got the garlic coming through, which is really interesting, but it's not overpowering. You've got the papaya, which is the main essence, and of course the vinegars that have broken down all the natural sugars of the papaya, blending in with the processed sugar that we put in. So it's a really fresh sauce, and let's see what it does with our little aromatic, herbs. And the flavors are so interesting because now, as soon as you eat this with the papaya, the chili, you get this, this real hit of chili, and the front of my tongue is sort of tingling away. So that's utterly delicious. But now let's check out the chicken wing. One thing about chicken wings, there is no sort of pretty way to eat them. So you just tear it, and like my mother would say, eat it like a jungli. Oh my God. What's really amazing about this is that the skin has taken in all those flavors, especially the hoisin, or our alternative, which was the oyster sauce, and it's got this lovely, warm, velvety flavor to it, which is warm hot rather than chilly hot. And I think with the sweetness of that mixed in with the papaya relish, we have got a great winner. Aisha, I wish you were here to eat all of this food because, my God, I had a lot of fun making it for you. And for you other guys out there, if you want this type of cuisine, and again, to make me simplify things for you, send in your SMSs, email, Facebook, contact us on Twitter, and come on, ask me to cook your cuisine. I love doing it, and I'm sure you will love eating it once I'm done showing you how to make it. So, till next week, take care, and Aisha, if you're out there, bon appetit.